What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my video. Today I'm gonna be working on this. It's like a 90s, late 80s, early 90s Nissan forklift. I'm gonna be replacing the radiator. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do is make sure the gas is closed. So I'm gonna close the valve, and I'm gonna make sure the brake is on. So I'm gonna make sure the brake is on all the way. It wasn't, and I'm gonna remove this cover where the seat is. So it only has two bolts on this side and two bolts on this other side over here. So I'm just gonna remove these two bolts on each side, and the whole thing comes off. Okay, so I got the bolts off and it came off, but you also have to remove this bracket right here. It only has a cotter pin, so you take it off and remove it. That's the one to hold this piece when you gotta open it and service the forklift. That one holds it open. So you just take it off from this pin right here. You just remove the cotter pin, and it comes off. Now I'm gonna remove this piece right here. This one, it's supposed to have 4 bolts on each side. As you can see, this one only has 2, but when I put it back together, I'm gonna put 4. And the only thing you do is you take it off. So you take it off and then you just put it on the side. You don't have to disconnect the hoses. If you have to disconnect them, you can, but in this case I'm not. The only one I'm gonna disconnect is this one right here. So you disconnect this, remove both the bolts. It should be 4. There's only 2 on this one. So I'm gonna remove both of them, and then I'm just gonna put that piece to the side. Okay, now that I moved this piece to the side, I'm gonna remove the reservoir. So this one comes off pretty easy, pretty simple to take it off. So I'm gonna put it on the side as well. And now I'm gonna disconnect the upper radiator hose, the lower radiator hose, and next I'm gonna remove the fan shroud. It only has 4 bolts, 2 on each side, and this one's kind of flexible, so you shouldn't be a big deal to take it off. Okay, so I got the hose off and the fan shroud. Like I said, this one is flexible, so it's easier to remove. Now I'm gonna remove. This is automatic model, I forgot to mention. I'm gonna remove the transmission hoses and also the bottom radiator hose. And once I take these, there's supposed to be 4 bolts. There's only 2 on this one, 2 on the top. So once I take those 2 off, the radiator should come out no problem. So I'm gonna remove the hoses for now, and I'm gonna remove the 2 upper bolts, and I'm gonna remove the radiator. Okay, so I was able to remove this transmission hose from this side of the forklift, and the other one on this side, I also put a oil pan on the bottom. That way it doesn't drip on the floor. Okay, so for this side, you could do it from this side of the forklift next to the wheel. So you can just go in here and you're able to disconnect the hose. Okay, so now that I got everything off, I'm gonna remove those 2 bolts, and I'm gonna remove the radiator. So this is the old radiator. It was leaking from the bottom of the tank, of the upper tank, on both sides. So you can see here all the rust. Okay, so this is the old one, and this is gonna be the new one. This is a copper one. This is an aluminum, so it should work the same. I'm gonna be adding antifreeze. I'm not gonna add water like they did before, because that's why it went out, all the corrosion. Okay, so I'm gonna put new bolts because the other ones, they're kind of stripped. So I'm gonna look for a set of different bolts, and I'm gonna get it ready to install. Okay, so the radiator's in. So first I'm gonna do the hoses, the ones on the bottom, the ones on the top, and then the shroud. and put everything else back together. Okay, I'm pretty much done. All I gotta do is bolt down the fan shroud, put the clamp back on the hose, put that piece of cover back on, the big one, and that's gonna be pretty much it. Okay, so I already finished putting it back together. I already added the antifreeze, so now I'm gonna start it up and make sure it doesn't leak any antifreeze or any transmission fluid. Okay, now I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna check the gauge, make sure it doesn't overheat anymore. And that's pretty much how you replace the Nissan radiator on a forklift. So that's gonna be it for today. Thank you guys for watching.